Okay, becoming a deal maker. Now, this module is fairly extensive in the sense that not only do I discuss what you need to do, I also discuss all the various types of strategies that you can use in order to put a no money down deal together. So starting from becoming a no money down deal maker to the 4 ingredients to equity, sources of equity, sweat equity, strategies for creating sweat equity, JV with landowner, JV with money partner, JV with a builder, and private funding. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these one by one. So we can start off with becoming a no money down deal maker. So let's start here. Okay, the number one goal, if you want to do this, you got to do this ethically. And the number one goal is to look after your investors. Even before your interest, it is their interest that comes first. Always make sure that your investors are like your clients. If they are happy and they are making money, you will always make money. So always make sure that you go out of the way, you bend over backwards to make sure that your investors are making money. They always come first, and it's all about them. Give them more value, have their best interest at heart, and make sure that they win. There are 4 ingredients of deal making, and the only way you will be able to make that deal happen, number one, the only way you can make a no money down deal is if you have a deal of a lifetime. If you have a deal of a lifetime, you will be able to find investors fairly quickly. When I say a deal of a lifetime, in the sense a deal that's a no-brainer and suddenly you've stumbled upon it, and it's deal of a lifetime is a thing that happens very seldom. When I say deal of a lifetime, is that it's got so much money in it that no matter who comes in will make money, no matter in what shape or form. Now, almost every deal that makes 20% development margin is a deal of a lifetime. It just depends upon how you present it to them. So there are 4 ingredients to doing a no money down deal. Number one, you have a deal of a lifetime, or their circumstances are such that what you present or propose to them has the best possible outcome for them as compared to their current situation. So always make sure that their current situation, you always have to compare and contrast with what they've got on hand. It's called the contrast principle. I read a book a long time ago by Robert Cialdini on influence, and they talk about this principle called contrast. And what you got to do is show them what is their existing return on in whatever opportunity they've got their money in. What's the return on that? If they put it in a bank, what do they get? 3%, 4%, 5%? What can they make on their money if they were to put that money or invest that money in your deal with you? So you got to contrast that situation. You also have to contrast the risk and reward situation so that they understand what's involved in it. So do not make any fake promises. Make sure that you look after them, and always make sure that you always understand that they will only come to you if they can see that your opportunity is much better than their current situation. So that's one of the reasons people will do a deal with you. Third reason is if they know more. Now, everyone is inherently driven by fear. So the only way they can overcome that is if they know more. How do they know more? You got to educate them on the process, and that takes time. It takes time not only on the process, it's also the mindset. Now you already doing this course, you already invested time, money, energy into developing yourself, into developing your mind. but maybe they haven't, although they have access to money, but they do not have that mindset to be able to go out and do that. And a lot of time is because they don't know as much as you do. They don't know what's around the corner. They don't know what to expect next. They don't know how it's going to pan out. Excuse me. So make sure you educate them about the process. Get them to verify the process from their trusted resources. Their trusted sources, or their trusted advisors, or lawyers, or accountants, or friends, or family, whatever. So what you got to do is show them what the process is, show them the numbers, show them the report and everything, and let them go out and get it verified from their trusted sources. And it could be friends, family, or professionals they want to hire and do that. This diagram here basically tells you it's a funnel, and the way it will work is that the first stage is awareness. And when I talk about awareness, that's the process where that's the time and the energy that you've got to spend with them in educating them, because they don't even know what it is like to be part of a project. So unless you find somebody who already knows where they are. So if they know where they are, then it'll be fairly quicker, and they might be somewhere here where they're ready to take action. So that's what it is. After you make them aware of the possibilities in a deal with you, the second stage would be consideration. While they are considering what's happening, how are they going to do it, how are the finances going to pan out, they like your deal but they are not sure, so they are considering it. They're talking to their friends, they're talking to families, trying to get as much advice from other people as possible. They're listening to stories at this time. Believe me, at this time, when they are at the consideration stage, they are talking to friends, families, and whoever they know, and they are listening to stories. And most of these stories are horror stories that they are listening to about how a deal went belly up, and how a developer didn't give them their money, or someone must be crying or whinging about their story that would have gone, or about their deal that would have gone wrong somewhere else, and they would be coming and drumming them. So you make sure that you are very patient when they are in that consideration stage. The second stage is preference, whether they prefer your deal or someone else's deal. So okay, they're aware of what happens, they've considered the deal, but now it's all about preference, whether they should pick you or whether they should pick somebody else. And the way you can set yourself apart is by the project report, your research, your due diligence, and your research, and all the meticulousness that you can bring to a deal. They will see that you are better at managing all of this. And trust me, I've actually competed with investors against other seasoned developers who wanted their money, and I wanted their money for my project, and I've been able to convince them to come with me because of my professionalism, and because of the way I present things, or because of the way I do my numbers, or I present my report, and so on. The fourth stage is action, whether or not they want to take action. Basically, at that time, they're actually consulting their lawyer. They're reading the unit holders agreement. They are reading your development management agreement. They are reading all these things with their lawyers, and their lawyer is now advising them what's going on, and how they can be covered and how they cannot be covered, and so on. And after they've taken the action, the second part, the loyalty and the advocacy, comes in when you go for another deal. So once you get them to take action, basically you've converted them to a client. Once they're converted to you as a client, they will become your advocate, and they will become loyal to you as long as you deliver what you promised to deliver, or what the budget or what the project promised to deliver. So whatever you say, as long as that turns out to be the case, they will become loyal to you, and they will become your biggest advocate. And the reason I can tell you why now is because if you've delivered them everything that you had said or promised at the beginning of the project, they will go out of their way and tell other people, and as many people as possible. And it's in their best interest to do that, because once anyone, it's like basic buyer client customer psychology. Once they become a customer of something, they will never say that they made a wrong decision. It's as good as saying that I'm foolish. So nobody admits that they made it. Most of the people, 99% of the people, will admit that they made the wrong decision. So as long as you deliver what you say, they will start advocating you. And that's how this funnel unfolds. That's how this funnel works. So in awareness stage, you got to teach them, educate them, show them reports, show them research. In the consideration stage, you can answer all the FAQs that we spoke about earlier. In the preference stage, there's not a lot you can do, but you can get their preference, get them to swing your way by making yourself look more professional. Once they take action, they are at that stage. They are serious about it. They're talking to their lawyers, accountants. Their accountants are checking numbers and also all sorts of things. So remember where your investors or clients are at every given stage when you see them. So when you go and see an investor for the first time, don't expect them to take action straight away, because they have to go through this funnel. Unless they go through that funnel, they will not take that action. And so don't come out rejected or dejected from them because you basically tried to go and sell them, go and jump the process and go straight to action, and you're not going to get that. So remember, they have to go through the awareness, consideration, preference, action, loyalty, advocacy. So that's the third thing. Fourth thing you can do with them is reduce fear. And if you have been watching all my videos, the first module, mindset, had a video about overcoming fear in property development. You should watch that video again, take notes from it, so that when you've got questions from your investors, your clients, you know exactly how to answer them. You know exactly how to tackle them. So, and all these things, the underlying fact with all these things is that you got to build the trust and you got to build credibility. Now, in the previous module project report, I discussed all of these in great length. This is exactly the same thing, so I do not need to go through them again, but that's how you build your trust.